at my fertility appointment and my HSG. I'll make it as quick as I possibly can. Sorry about the camera today as well. I'm actually holding it, so it's a little bit awkward. But I'll try and make this as quick as I can. So I got to my appointment. I was about 15 minutes late. I was really rushing and I was flustered. The trains were delayed this morning. So I was about 15 minutes late for my appointment. I signed in, and within about 2 to 3 minutes, the doctor came out and called me in. So I went in, and the first thing she started doing was just having a go at me for being late. I explained to her that the train was delayed and there was signal failure and there was nothing I can do about it. Sometimes the underground is like that. And she was like, oh, well, I got the underground and I managed to get here by 9:30. She was really, really harsh, and I actually really just felt like crying. But I just composed myself and kind of kept it together. So she started asking me, you know, how I've been and everything like that. And I told her that I've been fine, that my period didn't come for a really long time, so I couldn't have my HSG before this appointment because we were actually supposed to discuss the results. She said it's fine. She had the results back from my transvaginal, which I did last week, and everything was fine, everything was normal from there. I had a good report. So she basically said that the next step she was going to do is make an appointment with me to see the nurse, and the nurse would give me something to have regular periods. She said because my periods are really irregular, they need to be regular. So for her to make them regular, she needs to, I have to see the nurse, and the nurse is going to give me something to make them regular. Now, I don't know if she's referring to Clomid. I'm assuming she's referring to Clomid, but she didn't use the word Clomid. She just said the nurse will give you something to make your periods regular. By that, I'm assuming that she means Clomid, because I'm going to ovulate regularly and therefore have a period regularly. So I'm just assuming. So she came out with me. The appointment literally took about 10 minutes or less than that. She came out with me and she booked the nurse's appointment with me. So my nurse's appointment is going to be on February the 16th. And I'm going to be given something to make me have regular periods, which I think will be Clomid, but we'll see. It could be something else. She said the good thing is because I'm slim, I'm not someone that has polycystic ovaries who's overweight. She said that, you know, the success rate should be quite good. She doesn't need to give me something. She said it's much difficult if you're overweight or obese and you have polycystic ovaries. But because I'm slim, there usually isn't any problems. And she said regarding my HSG that you know, if the results come back and my tubes have a problem and they're blocked, then she can always revise it. But she said she's pretty sure that my tubes will be clear, and she's going on the assumption that my tubes will be clear. So, like I said, it took about 10 minutes and that was all done. So I have an appointment on February the 16th again. And it's a bit annoying that I have to wait for another month just to see a nurse. But this is NHS for you. It's just, you have to be, if you're having NHS care, you have to be ready to wait. And it's not like having private care. So you just have to get used to it and deal with it, really. So I'll quickly move on to the HSG. My HSG appointment was for 11:30. And I had to take 2 hours before the HSG, so about 9:30, 9:45, I took 4 pills, which they told me to take. I think they were painkillers or some kind of antibiotics to prevent any kind of infection. Then I had to take 2 suppositories. Suppositories are like medication that you have to take through your back passage, basically up your arsehole. So I had to take 2 massive, well, about an inch, about that long and about 1 centimetre wide pills. I had to put them in my back passage, in my butthole, basically. So I did that, and that was a really kind of weird feeling. Immediately after I did that and I'd taken the tablets orally, I felt really nauseous for about 40 minutes while I was waiting to get the HSG done. I felt very, very nauseous. Saliva kept coming to my mouth. I hadn't had breakfast and I couldn't eat anything. So I had some gum, some chewing gum, just to kind of keep that nausea feeling down a bit. So I just sat and I waited with my husband for my HSG appointment. When I was called in, the first thing they asked me was to go and change and if I'd taken the medication, the suppositories in my bum hole and the oral tablets. I told them yes. They confirmed that I was on cycle day 10, and they also confirmed that I was not pregnant by doing a pregnancy test, because you can't do it if you're pregnant, because it will harm the pregnancy very, very badly. So they always make sure that you're not pregnant before doing it. So I had a pregnancy test and it was negative, which wasn't a surprise. I knew that already. I just had my period 10 days ago. So she told me that it could be a bit painful, but more of like kind of period pains. So I said okay. So I was on the table, there was a doctor there, the gynecologist and a radiographer, and they all spoke to me individually, just kind of explaining what was going to happen, how I might feel. So the first part is they put the speculum in, and that's like when you have a smear test. So that went in. It not painful, but just very uncomfortable, makes you feel really weird. I was just taking really deep breaths and trying to think happy thoughts, thinking of the day that I will be, pregnant or delivering my baby, taking my baby home. I was trying to think of all those kind of positive things to help me relax and taking deep breaths. Then he passed a tube through into my cervix. This, I didn't feel it that much. I could feel that something was going through, but it's a very kind of minor feeling. I mean, if you were like carried away talking about something or doing, I don't know, you might not even feel it. But because I was kind of very aware, I felt it, but it wasn't painful. It just felt like, I can't really describe the feeling, just a bit uncomfortable. Then he said that the solution was going to go in and I would probably start feeling cramps. Within 10 seconds of him putting the solution through, my uterus started cramping. It felt like really bad period pains, but I'm telling you, it only lasted 30 seconds. After 30 seconds, I didn't feel any pain again. So the whole experience took 10 minutes tops, and I would say all in all was not a painful experience, just slightly uncomfortable. It felt like just having a smear test, and then you have 30 seconds of period pain, and that was my experience. I know some women have had it worse and it was very painful, but I thank God that mine wasn't that bad. I really tried my best to stay calm and take deep breaths and think about happy things. Sorry if I'm like rushing. I'm trying to make this video less than 10 minutes and try to get through everything. Maybe I should have just made 2. I don't know. But anyway. So yeah, I did that, and I told him that I needed to go back to the fertility clinic part and let them know the result before the report gets there. So he said that everything was fine. My uterus and my tubes are normal. I have no blockages. So I'm really, really, really happy that my tubes are clear, and that's the best result I could have asked for. I mean, I didn't really feel like they weren't going to be clear, but obviously you do have it in the back of your mind that my tubes might not be clear, and that means you need to start thinking about things like IVF, which I don't really want to think about. So my tubes are clear, and I'm really, really happy about that. So now I'm just looking forward to the appointment on February 16th to get something to make my periods irregular and make me ovulate from the nurse. And that's all I can really say about that experience. But to anybody else who's possibly going to have a HSG, don't worry too much about the pain. It really wasn't painful. It was uncomfortable. I actually think the transvaginal was more uncomfortable. The worst part really is putting the suppositories in your bum, because they're big and it's very uncomfortable feeling when they go in your bum and you feel like you need to expel something from your asshole. That's a really kind of weird experience. But apart from that, I would say all in all, it was fine. It was fine. I feel a bit crap now, a bit moody. I don't know why. I'm just going to go and have an early night. So I'll speak to you another time.